Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the coffee cup sleeve that fits on a to-go cup or also on a regular coffee cup. The supplies you will need are a piece of batting measuring 5 by 11, a piece of fabric 5 by 11, and approximately 8 strips of fabric. I cut these anywhere between 1 to 2 inches. You'll also need a piece of elastic, a button to hold it, some thread to sew the button on, and then the actual pattern for the sleeve. We are going to start with our batting, and we are going to fold it in half to find that center point. And then I'm just going to use my Sharpie and mark where the center of that batting is. So we're going to start at this center mark here, and we're going to take our first fabric strip and we're going to put it right side up. And we're going to line it up with that center marking down to the corner. We're then going to take our second piece of fabric, right side down, and line it up right on top of that. Just going to take a couple pins and pin it in place while I get it over to the sewing machine. Now that we have it over to the sewing machine, I'm going to line up my 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to sew these 2 strips together. Just going to finger press it open. And then I'm going to add my 3rd strip. This one. So we will continue right side down. Now that I have my first 3 strips on here, I'm going to give it a good press before I continue adding my other strips. Just to keep everything nice and flat. Now you're just going to continue to add all of the strips until your entire piece of batting is covered. Now we have all of our strips sewn to our batting. See, I kind of didn't bring my strip up far enough up here. It's fine. The corners are still empty. That's fine, because we're just going to place our pattern on there and cut it out anyways. But first, I'm going to trim off all this excess just because I don't like it on there. So now we're ready to put our template on and trace and cut that out. So I'm going to flip my project over. I'm going to place my template. Make sure I'm not close to that one corner. And I'm just going to use a Sharpie. And then we're going to cut that out. Now I'm also going to trace out my template for the inside. It's going to go there of my coffee cup sleeve. So I'm just going to trace this out, cut it out, and then we are ready to do some sewing. I have my front and my back. So I am going to place my back side right side down on top of my front piece. I'm just going to place a couple of clips just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to mark about a 2 to 3 inch spot. And we're going to leave this open because that's how we're going to turn our project right side out. So now we're just going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to sew all the way around at a 1/4 inch. So starting on our first mark, I have my presser foot at a 1/4 inch. We're going to sew around. I am going to back stitch just to secure that for when we turn it right side out. Now when I get to this corner, I'm going to add my elastic in. So I'm just going to, and you want it to go on the inside because when you flip it out, then it's going to come the opposite way. So in between my layers, going to back stitch over that just to give it some extra strength. Now when we get to this line, we're going to stop, back stitch, cut. Now we're going to clip our corners, making sure to not clip into our stitching. Now that our corners are clipped, we're going to turn it right side out, and we're almost already done. So I'm going to go between my front and my back. And as we do with most things in sewing, we work from the inside out. So I'm going to push that through that opening that I left open. There's our piece of elastic that we put in to hold our sleeve on our cup. I'm going to take my point turner and just really poke those corners out nice. Do not use scissors, you will poke a hole in your project. You might get lucky once, but you will not the next time. You can also use a chopstick, crochet hook. Alright, so there we have it. Now we have to close this hole. A couple clips to hold that in place. And now before I top stitch around the whole thing, I am going to take it over to the ironing board and give it a good press. Now we are back to the sewing machine and we are going to top stitch about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Close up that hole and it's just going to make it look nice and finished. I like to start mine about 1 inch or so right before my hole that I'm closing. And we're coming back to where we started. I'm just going to trim that starting thread off and finish up this top stitch. A couple back stitches. And cut your thread. Oh, we are almost done. Front, back. Look at how cute that is. Now we just have to add our button over on the other side and this project is done. All that's left is to add our button. I'm going to hand sew that on But first I'm going to bring it around to see exactly where I want that button to be. And then I'm just gonna take my erasable pen and I'm just gonna mark a little spot. Just like that. Put my button on there. Actually, I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. I'm not much for hand sewing, but I will sew on a quick button like this. So I'm just gonna sew that on and we'll be all done. So I have hand sewed my button on there. It's all nice and secure. So let's put this on our to-go cup. Bring it around. Got elastic over there, and look at that. A cute little springtime coffee cup sleeve. Let's see how it looks on a regular cup. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more projects like this, make sure to like, subscribe, share videos with your friends, and I hope that everybody enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.